Hazard pay heats up, but how soon can you get that $10,000? Hey, good afternoon, everybody. This is Afternoons LALATE. Hope you're good and safe. This is our 2-hour programming block. Every day this starts with a check at 3:30. Then goes to hazard pay, next FPUC, and finally rent assistance. It's been really an incredible 24 hours in which we had a great announcement, good news from the president about stimulus, and then included references to hazard pay. Yes, but what was it? How did it work? And when will you get that $10,000 under hazard pay? Let me get right to the news. A lot of people have been asking me in DM and tweets on the channel and comments, when can I get that $10,000 of hazard pay? It's not law yet, so you can't get it. Let me make very clear to you, it's not a program that is currently live. So I love that viewers are on top of things, but it's not currently live yet. It's not yet law. It's a proposal in the HEROES Act, authored by the Democrats, approved by the House, currently in the Senate. There is no indication as to what day it's going to become law, but it's part of the second stimulus package, which this channel details on a regular basis. Next, viewers ask, when can I go apply? With the I, very clearly delineated in the question. No, you can't apply. What do you mean I can't apply? You can't apply. What's my money? You can't apply. One of the real big rubs that people have an issue with, including myself, this is the what the hell news, is why does hazard pay have the employer apply for your money? Yes, the way the Democrats wrote the bill, which no one likes, including the viewers of this channel and including other Republicans who want to give you hazard pay money, is that employers shall or may apply for hazard pay for you. What does that mean, LALATE? It means that they don't have to. Yes, they literally do not have to apply for hazard pay for you. You cannot apply for it yourself. Well, what if they don't apply for me? Tough luck. Yes, literally tough luck. Is there a manner in which I can sue my employer if they don't get the hazard pay for me? Viewers have asked. No. The law actually says, well, not the law, the bill proposes law says they don't have to do it if they don't want to. Yeah. Who creates and writes a law that says the employer can sort of, if they want to, go get your money that's not their money, and it's $10,000 that's not going to them, it's going to you? That's the what the hell part of the bill. Where in this, let's be frank, drop in the comments below. How many of you really think that your employer is going to go out and get you $10,000 that doesn't make them a penny? I'd like to see the responses. Ultimately, that doesn't even take into consideration other problems. Your employer may be bankrupt now. Your employer may have laid you off. Your employer may have terminated your services. Your employer may be out of money. Your employer may be out of business. There's all that other stuff. So how does that happen in that circumstance? Arguably, it doesn't. One of the viewers, who's one of my mentors in the private, asked me, a few hours ago, he said, how do I apply if I'm self-employed? Not clearly defined in the bill as well. Not clear in the bill as well if you're self-employed. Now, I explained before in an earlier video, because I've been doing hazard pay videos for now, 2 months, where I had a lot of truck drivers. I said, this is going to be a big issue for my truck drivers because they're not employees. So who applies for the truck driver? The person who hired their services? That sounds really weird. So if I order a car to be shipped across the country, hire a truck driver and they drive across the country, I'm supposed to get their hazard pay for them? What? It doesn't make sense. Now, Mitt Romney saw there was problems with this. It's sometimes, sometimes Mitt Romney's like the Candy Burris of the Senate. He's like, there's a problem with this. I'm like the voice of reason. Do you not see the problem in this? I'm like, there's an elephant in the room, and it's not Nene. There's an elephant in the room, and there's a problem here. Don't you see there's a problem? There's an inherent big problem with this bill. It's just like there's always a problem on Atlanta Housewives. There's a big problem with this bill, and the problem is that the bill says the employer may apply for it and it doesn't want to apply. Mitt Romney cures that problem. He fixes that problem. How does he fix the problem? In his proposal. His proposal is that the employer has to apply for you. How does he get around that? He doesn't give you as much money, which is, it's better than nothing. But what he does is he has the federal government pay the employer to get your money. Yes. Now, if you think about it, will an employer sit back? Let's just think about this for a second. Will an employer sit back and say, okay, January to the present, I have to calculate hazard pay. I have 20 employees. I have to do timesheets of 10 months of work or 8 months of salaries for 20 employees. That's going to take me like 4 days of bookkeeping. You want me to do that, federal government, for free? As he fixes his collar, the boss. I'm not doing that for free. Don't jump on a leg. I'm not gonna sit and do calculations for 5 days, 6 days, and have my bookkeeper run up a bill for me, and no one pays my bill to do that bookkeeping. I'm not gonna do that for free. I expect that to happen. Now, I try to keep things positive on this channel, as you know. I try to keep it motivated and inspirational, but I'm seeing a lot of questions from viewers asking me, when do you think I will receive my hazard pay? I got to take this very clear to you, this message right now. So look at me. We see each other, as Kitty would say as well. We see each other. It's one thing for the bill to be passed. It's another one for your nincompoop boss to not apply for the money. And so I see a huge problem if bosses across the country see this law enacted and suddenly just don't want to apply for it. Protests, riots, walk-offs, union strikes, union lawsuits, picketing. Yeah, I mean, can you imagine? It's not a minor amount of money, and it's not a minor amount of people. It's a lot of people. Let's just think about it. Every pharmacy that's a national chain, everyone is not getting hazard pay because the boss didn't want to do it. Every grocery store chain in the country, and there's a lot of them, that are nationalized, that are unionized, that have unionized employees, that have a union president, that pay union dues. They're very well organized. Suddenly you're told by that restaurant chain that is national in every single city across the country, we're not applying for your hazard pay. Where do you see this going? This afternoon there was protests outside the person in charge of the post office, Inspector General. There was like 40 people outside in that protest. If you watch the video, I don't expect 40 people protesting this thing. I expect 40,000 people protesting, or 40, in every city. This is a very big issue that if it's approved and people aren't getting the money, something's going to have to be done. Ultimately, I hope that the Mitt Romney plan is enacted. Now, here's what's really strange. This is more of what the hell is news. The president issued a statement yesterday among his 5 tweets yesterday that says he now wants to pay hazard pay, but to certain people. Wait, what? Let me get to the message and then I'll get to the backstory. He says, I am ready, doesn't mean he's going to right now, but I'm ready to send more money to the states and local governments to save jobs for police, firefighters, first responders, and teachers. That's all frontline hazard pay workers. So he wants to pay hazard pay money to police, firefighters, first responders, and teachers. That's really good news. But the what the hell news is, why was that not in the Republicans' second stimulus package, the HEALS Act, authored by Mitch McConnell? Why is this the first time we're hearing about anything hazard pay-ish, hazard pay-esque, hazard pay-ish as to the Republicans on a Friday afternoon after we've been doing this for, a couple days? just a couple minutes. Why are we suddenly hearing about hazard pay in that regards? We've never heard the word hazard pay come out of Steve Mnuchin's mouth, but we've also never heard of anything from Steve Mnuchin talking about the frontline workers. I mean, you know that because I've made every joke I can make about it. I've called it the illegitimate child that no one wants to talk about, the love child of Steve and Nancy Pelosi, the hazard pay bill, hazard provision of the hazard pay bill. It is like the thing you don't want to talk about. It's like the person at the table that has a piece of food in their tooth. You just don't want to talk about it. So we haven't heard anything from their side, but then suddenly we have this incredibly great news that he wants to pay it. Okay. And of course, the what the hell news is, why is it only firefighters, police, first responders, and teachers? I don't know. As one viewer dropped in the comments this morning, and I'm not disparaging any group or one or the other, they said, why teachers? How about everyone else in the essential workers provision? And that's a very good point. I mean, when you look at the hazard pay bill, essential workers is very broad. There's a lot of categories in there. I've done it before, but it's not just for groups of people. So as we sit here today, it's important to understand that it's $10,000. It's not coming to you tomorrow. It's not coming to you next week. And if it becomes law, it could become a law very quickly. Let me explain how quickly it could become a law. The way it works is that Congress is at home, but they're under order to return within 24 hours if there's a deal between Steve and Nancy, who are still talking. They're not no longer talking. They're still talking. They talked yesterday by telephone. Steve is in town. He's not on break because he's a cabinet member. He's not on recess. He's not a member of Congress. So within 24 hours of a deal by Steve and Nancy as the second stimulus package, Congress is ordered to return within 24 hours. The Senate would vote the first day. House would vote the next day. The president signed the bill the third day. Great. Hazard pay in 3 days. No. The problem of hazard pay is not the law or the enactment of the law. The problem of hazard pay is that darn boss. Imagine if you had a boss that you worked at a restaurant for. I'm going to use the most common example. You worked at a restaurant from January, because this bill starts in January. You worked as a restaurant as a good employee. You did your work. You did what you had to do. You worked January when the pandemic hit. You're still working at the restaurant. You were helping with takeout and helping with putting everything in the Uber Eats boxes when the guy came to pick it up. You were working there, or you're cleaning the tables, or you're doing something. You worked January, February, March, and April. You continued to work and keep that business alive. That boss went and got PPP money and got some money to pay your salaries in April. But by May, the PPP money was run out. By May, there was a new lockdown order, no in-house dining. Suddenly, people were not showing up. The takeout was not enough business, and you were laid off. The business is now closed. The boss is now gone. The business is shut down. You don't even have the boss's home phone number. The phone number of the restaurant is shut off. So how would you get hazard pay for all those months that you worked at the restaurant? This is not an unusual circumstance. I foresee this is the circumstance that this channel is going to be covering, till I'm black and blue in the face, because I think it's a very serious problem, and I don't think anyone who wrote this bill, this hazard pay bill, understood how severe the problem is going to be as we hopefully enact the law. Coming up next is more of this as well. Go to the front of this channel, hit that subscribe and alert button. I'm giving incredible details all day long. I announced 2 more grants, not my grants, but 2 more grants that were announced today. Whether it's rent assistance or individual grants or free money in different regards. I'm announcing things literally by the minute. What people are doing, they're sending me messages, hey, LALATE, here's this, announce it. I look at it, I confirm it's true and correct. I put it out, I announce it right away. So go to the front of this channel and hit that subscribe button and hit that alert button. If you are not getting alerts from this channel, look at the sticky comment to this channel below in the comments below this video. It describes how to ensure that you are set up to get alerts. Coming up next is FPUC with really interesting developments, but really great news about rent assistance coming up thereafter. As always, stay informed, stay motivated, stay inspired, and stay of LA for more.